The new channel. See the new. The new channel. See the new. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the new channel, here to help you see the new you. This is Jesse Francis Rebustillo, your host of the show HR Hotline. Welcome back to the HR Hotline. First, I would like to apologize for the last episode that we had last Tuesday. It was my fault, and I will mention that in the course of our discussion today. Ignoramos. Que bobo de la yuca. Lolong-lolo talaga. Talagang traditional. I checked my data because, I'm still waiting for my fiber optic Wi-Fi lines. Actually, I will mention it from Converge, and the other one is from a telco, Globe. I'm still waiting for that. We are just in Parañaque, but I just don't know. It's taking them a lot of time to connect it. But this is my story. I checked because I'm afraid of our executive producer, Lloyd Luna, so I checked. And I saw it was 1,100 something MB. So I was so confident. So we had the show. Then you know what happened. And you know it. If you were watching, it was not so good. I was my audio, the screen was actually like I was like a ghost. And after that, I tried to research. I found that the gigabyte is composed of 1,000 megabytes. So the MB is just a fraction of the GB. Ay, kay bobo. Which is why my laptop or the Wi-Fi cannot really be supported. Why did I mention that? But now, I'm so happy. You know why? If you're listening to me, that I'm a little bit clear, I'm now using my new microphone. I even have some, what do you call this? But I'm not going to use that. I'm not still used to that. Anyway, why is it that I mentioned that? Because it tells us of what our topic this lunchtime. The positivity of the pandemic, which leads us to our mental health. Yeah, after the show, I called up Mom Grace Abeliozata, and then, of course, told her, I am sorry for what happened. I called my friend, Family Kabantak, and then poured out my frustration. I called Lloyd. Then PPO that called me too. So these are my support group. And while eating my late lunch, I cried. And after that, I did my research. And now I'm okay. So why is it that I'm telling this to you? It's mental health. It's mental health. How you go into the process of your frustrations, of your challenges during this lockdown. So, what is the positivity during this pandemic? I mentioned this last night. Oh, here's another story. Last night, we had a fundraising for a founder of the Philippine Association of Professional Speakers, Ian Barcelona. A lot of guys cried. Dennis, even Lloyd cried. And that is mental health. You don't have to, what do you call it, stop, call your emotions. You're aware that it is an event wherein you have to be family and you have to share. Then you have to show your emotions. So this is what I mentioned. This is what I mentioned that uh, for people who has problems, life is a journey. Life is a journey. You must know your ups and downs, and you're aware of it. And you have to seize it. You have to be transparent, and you have to be realistic. So, what is the positivity that I mentioned also last night? That with this lockdown, with this pandemic, we were given the time to really realize the meaning of life. I am very scared now to go out because I was informed there are already some positive guys nearby. So we realize that we have to really to what do you call this? Protect our lives. And then after that we go deeper. Hiram, who gave us this life? God. Then we become spiritual. Which is why I told Meg, whose father, Meg Marsan, whose father just died earlier with Alzheimer. So I can relate with her because my brother, of course, still living, has Alzheimer. I told her, I will include that in my prayers. We do the rosary every night. Then, the exact opposite. It's the birthday of a founding member of PAPS and a past president of PIMA, PP Barvey. And again, my text is, I'm going to pray for you. So we go deeper, the meaning of life. And I think that is the positivity of the pandemic. We are compelled to understand, appreciate, give meaning to what we do. Before I continue, I would like to greet PP Obet Pelucarpio. He's always here listening to us, and of course, he's the one who's actually saying with family, telling you the do's and don'ts. Up to now, I'm still learning the honing my skill with this live streaming. I do webinars, I do trainings. Oh, you should watch me when I do face-to-face training. But it is different when it is on a live stream because you are actually very near the screen. So any tweak of your lips or your eyes can be seen by the viewers. And of course, hello, Cherry Ramos. Yes, Cherry Ramos, I am waiting for your invitation. And Edgar Franco, my good friend Edgar Franco from the Philippine Society for Talent and Development. Edgar has been a friend for the longest time. And then, of course, my Christy. She had her birthday also yesterday. Anyway, so let us continue with our topic. So there is positivity. But the problem of HR is actually too slant from her, from his point of view, and from the point of view of the employees. And what is this? And what is this? HR must be brave. HR must have the competency, that he must the skill, she must or he must be able to understand the mental health of herself, of himself, and of the organization. So that is actually the challenge. And the point is, where will you start? Oh, ang dali-dali. There is a law on that. And then we were asked, there was an advisory from Donald. But I don't know if pre-COVID we really did our preparation for this ultimate disruption, which is the pandemic. Are you like me that I appreciate the process and I can evaluate and assess how good is my mental health? Or do you, or do we leave everything to the superordinate? We are going to answer that. This time I'm going to introduce our special guest. She is actually a dear friend, a family too. I met her mother-in-law, and husband around 15 years ago when I was doing a leadership seminar with Power Max. And they were actually so engaged and so interested that they were at the back and they went in front near me to listen. And from that time on, they invited me to their place in Cabuyao and became a family. So this time, I'm going to invite the person who is actually the head of the operations or the program of that facility. It's called the One Algon Place in Cabuyao. And actually, before, they were very much focused on the rehabilitation of drugs, those in drugs. But later on, they veered into and they focused on, we'll ask her. We'll ask. It's better that we get it from her. So ladies and gentlemen, let us meet my dear friend. Bicolano rin, kasi parents is actually from Bicol, but she grew up here. She graduated in Santa Isabel. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Czel Casas-Gonzales. Hello, Czel.
Hello, everyone.
I know
Hello.
your name is Czel, but you changed it to Zel.
Yeah,
And I
para may
agree with
style. Para
yes,
may
yes.
style.
You are in Cabuyao.
Yes, I'm actually working now at the psychiatric facility and in the treatment facility of One Algon Place Foundation.
How is June?
Oh, right now he's in a meeting right now. Naririnig ko yung boses niya. Nagmi-meeting sila.
I see.
Doing
So
good.
I told them that you should be the one to tell me. Before you were more focused on drug addiction, but now you are. Tell us. The facility.
We started 2004 as a substance abuse treatment facility. However, during 2008, this Sir Jesse, that we opened a psychiatric facility during 2008 to provide services for those who are suffering from mental illnesses.
Yes. Okay. All in all, if you can tell us, how many have been your students? You call that students?
Yeah, we call them students. Kasi lately, I learned that our concept is a homeschooling program.
Homeschooling program. And there is a name for that school that you have.
Yeah, we call it
The facility is One Algon Place, and the school is
the Academy of Hope.
yes,
The
very
Academy of Hope.
the Academy of Hope. So
Yeah.
the what do you call this? The patients, the internees are not actually considered patients, but they are considered students.
Yeah, they're considered students because they do a lot of learning sessions, they attend classes, they have spiritual activities, sports. It's like a hospital with a school concept and a seminary concept. Parang ganun yung retreat
Well,
in the
we had that
university.
before. We invited a visit before about formation. So you have that in your program.
Yes, we have a full formation program for the students.
I see. So how many? We will have the questions after the break, but we still have time. So what is a day for a student in your facility?
Oh, a day. They start at 6 o'clock in the morning. Of course, they prepare themselves. They eat. They take their medication if needed. They do exercises, and then in between they have classes. They also have elective classes. The elective classes would consist of reading, studying online, or working online. So it depends on the treatment program of a student.
So that
And
means that the treatment is not, they are not really confined or locked down, which is actually usually the concept of being in a rehabilitation center.
yeah,
So there are things that they do.
we even brought them outside nung walang COVID. We bring them outside, we go to the beach, we go to the shopping mall. So it's like also sa bahay na pag may kailangan, they can go out
How
and
many how many days or weeks or months does it take for one to be okay?
it depends on the progress of the student. It depends on what they need. It can be a 2 weeks program, it can be a month, or it can be a halfway house wherein they go home and they go back.
So what are the extreme cases wherein you really have to lock them down?
Probably when the time comes that the family cannot handle them anymore, they're very violent and they are uncontrollable or unmanageable. So that's the time we need to do a little bit of quarantine. We call it quarantine. It's the same with quarantine.
So even before COVID, you already have a quarantine.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, we already have a quarantine. That's why we never had a problem adjusting to the quarantine because the clients or the students knows, and even the staff are aware of what is a quarantine is. So we never stop operation, and we're
Okay.
very
So
used to it.
this is in your hospital. This is in one Algon place. But
Yes.
You do also seminars or training or what do you call this activities outside for organizations, for corporate organizations. You do.
Yes, we have an outpatient program for companies, and we also have a prevention program where we go to companies or provide a third-party services for them in terms of if they need a facilitator, a lecturer, a learning session about mental health, or a debriefing for their HRs or supervisors. And we also have a program for them for the outpatients.
Okay, so there goes, ladies and gentlemen. We have an authority that can tell us what really we need to do for the mental health ours and mental health for our
Yeah.
organization. So we'll have the questions after. We'll have the first break, first announcements that we have for this show. Okay. Welcome back to the HR Hotline. As I mentioned in my introduction for HR Insights, by the way, I must first have to announce this. You always must be tuned with the TNC. That's the new channel. Why? From Mondays to Fridays, we have the big picture. Lloyd invites personalities, entrepreneurs that will tell us how they see the big picture. But of course, you have to be my date because the HR hotline not only tells what the HR must do, but everybody has that HR function, so I have to be tuned in. Then we have the business with Dr. Mike and Bert. It's a wonderful um, show that they have. Then after that, we have the fourth project by Bob Quilapio. Yes, Quilapio. Then my friend Carmine tells us about your visions, your dreams in life, your U-turn. And then of course, you have to be with the home buyer with Dante Salamat. There is fun and there is laughter when you tune in to the puppet stories of One Lu. Then again, this is actually in the evening. If you are keen with trade, buying online, we have the marketplace. Then there was a what do you call this their inaugural show last Monday, and I listened to it, I watched it, and it's a wonderful show. It's the talk. It's every Monday lunchtime. Then we have the after shift by Chino and Tricia and the town hall. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the new normal. You have your gadgets, just tune in. And it is comfortable because you can just have it with you. There is the live stream, is the new broadcast, and join the facebook.com/palp.ph/, the Philippine Association of Live Stream Professionals. I know that. I have friends from the north, si Julius, I don't know if he's watching me now. Then down south, down with the PMAP Davao, they do live stream, podcast and live streaming. That is the not actually in thing, but COVID forced us to do this. There was already live streaming before, just like Zoom, just like webinars. I did webinars pre-COVID, but this is the positivity of the pandemic. We were quickly compelled to do it. So, as I mentioned in my intro, that even myself, for the past 2 days, there were ups and downs with my emotions. I got frustrated, and then I faced the reality and turned it into something positive. And also yesterday, the news of a birthday, the news of a death of a loved one. So if we are actually a real person, we have emotions and we are aware of it. And we have to manage it, manage ourselves so that we can manage the feelings of others. So let's have Czel Casas-Gonzales back and let's ask her the first question. The first question is, what are the basics or the stages of mental health? So that this is very fundamental, but let us hear it from you. What are the basics of mental health and what are the stages? Tell us, Czel.
Actually, there are four aspects of mental health before I go to the stages. The four aspect of mental health is the physical, you're physically healthy, you eat on time, you drink your medication. Psychological, you, of course, the love, the concern, the care, you have it. Social, it's more on marunong ka, ang tawag nga nun, marunong ka makipagbayanihan. So you can extend your arms to the outside, to the community. And the most important is the spiritual. So that's the four aspect of mental health. But
So,
there are,
Czel, ang gusto mong sabihin, kung kulang ng isa, medyo may problema ka. Kasi you're so spiritual that you are sick physically. Diba? Or you're
um,
so healthy naman, you're so healthy, you 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 have routines, you jog, you eat well, pero you are not a social person, di ba? So may hindi rin balance. Eh. Is that what you are telling us?
Actually, it doesn't mean na wala yung isa. It's totally na talagang you have a mental health concern already. Meron kasi nag-exercise. For example, I'm active in exercising, but at the end of the day, I don't sleep. I can die. Pwede ako mamatay. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it doesn't mean na healthy ka, hindi ka pwedeng magkaroon ng problem in your physical. That's the four aspect that every individual needs to have. A healthy physical, psychological, social, and spiritual should be balanced. Not naman sobra, not naman kulang. So that it means your brain is healthy. So that's the four aspect. However, what you're asking me is ano naman yung tinatawag na stages.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, kanina kasi I was overheard na you had a mental distress. That's what you call
Yes.
mental distress. Yeah.
Yes, due to
So
to the Wi-Fi connection.
okay, there are four kinds of stages of mental health. Number one is what we call you don't have a mental problem, meaning you have you have a pensive thought. When you say pensive thought, malalim ka mag-isip.
I see.
So before you do something, you think of it, and you're balanced. So it means you don't have a mental health concern. The second is mental distress. This is the stages we're talking about. The mental distress is you feel sad, you feel gloomy, you feel alone. So what happened to you was mental distress.
So
You,
that is maybe for going to the first stage of thinking so much of what happened, so very pensive what happened, and later on you enter into that stage of mental distress. I
distress.
see.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
I'm learning. Okay,
okay, mental distress is something that it's basic. You don't need a counselor for this.
I
Just like
see.
what you did. You keep calm. You of course you cried because that's an abnormal that's an abnormal situation.
Baka ma-heart attack ako kung hindi ako umiyak.
Yeah. So the abnormal thing there is the situation, not you. So both are abnormal, right? So the abnormal situation, nawala yung internet, and then all of a sudden, you have to go live. So it's very distressed. Not distressed ka talaga. That's why you cried.
Mm-mm.
And then you don't need a counselor for it. What you did, you keep calm. Somebody listened to you, and then after listening to you, na-regain mo yung what you need to do. So you have to buy the microphone, you have to buy anything that you need. So you were able to control it and regain it. So that's the good that is what you should do if you have a mental distress. So the third stage would be the mental health problem. Okay, what is a mental health problem? A mental health problem is basically namatayan ka, nag-grieve ka, namatayan ka, tapos iniwanan ka ng relationship. For example, you have a relationship for 10 years. O kaya nawala ka ng trabaho. So, since we're talking about HR here, so nawalan ka ng trabaho, nawalan ka ng hanap buhay, so you can go into mental health problem. From this stage, you already need a counselor. It can be a psychologist, a mental health expert. Okay, and then the last stage would be the mental illness or disorder. For example, nag-heartbroken ka, nawalan ka ng trabaho, and then nagkaroon ka na ng anxiety symptoms or nagkaroon ka na ng mga simptomas na hindi ka na nakakatulog, hindi ka kumakain, you are not productive anymore. Minsan dumadating na point, may kausap mo na sarili mo, may kausap ka na hindi nakikita ng ibang tao. So that's what we call the fourth stage of mental disorder. Dito, you need already a professional help, which is a doctor, a psychiatrist. For children, probably a child and adolescent psychiatrist. Then sa adult naman is a psychiatrist. So may stages siya before you go through mental disorder. It doesn't mean you're sad, you are already depressed. Sadness is different from depression. you need a doctor for depression. You need to be diagnosed. It doesn't mean you're sad, depressed ako. It doesn't mean you're depressed, may depression ka na. Not unless you are diagnosed by a doctor. So these are the stages of mental health.
Ang question is, how will you know? What are the symptoms that you're on stage 3?
Okay,
What are the common
mental
symptoms?
health, mental health problems.
Yes, so that the HR will know, or so that your parents will know, or so that your husband will know, or your children will know that you are already entering that stage, going
Um,
into that stage.
the basic thing is pag hindi ka na naka-bounce back, you're not functional, you don't sleep, yung pagkain mo hindi tama. Basic lang, the psychosocial, spiritual. Hindi ka na lumalabas ng kwarto, you're not productive anymore, you have a family to feed,
These
yet,
are signs. So these are signs.
yeah,
So the usual functions that you do on the four, which is social, physical, if you're not doing that anymore, then
yes,
that is already a sign. So can I ask you this? So what are the skills that an HR should do to be able to deal with this? Say after learning that there are symptoms or there are suspects. So what are the skills that before we go there, the challenge now is that we are working remotely. How can HR determine that somebody is undergoing stage 3, which is actually a mental, what do you call that? Stage 3 is
mental health
health
problem.
problem. How
Yeah.
will we know? How will HR know that person or that particular employee is already undergoing that?
Okay, probably on the behavior. It's more on the behavior and the performance side. Performance. You would
Oh,
identify, yeah.
so
Behavior and
employees that are used to be performers but are not anymore performing, or
yeah.
employees who are not so sociable in the Zoom meetings, or employees who are not actually focused on what they're doing. So those are might be signs for HR. Para bang ting, there is something wrong. So what is now the next? So let's go to the question: what should HR do? What are the skills that HRs must have to deal with this?
Okay, probably what the HR should have. Always remember, mental health increases productivity. Yeah? Mental health increases productivity. And prevention reduces stigma. So if you prevent, if you give them the right education, awareness, so it reduces stigma. And second, HR should have a mental health first aid training. That's the basic to attend a mental health first aid training for you to be equipped on how to handle problematic or those employees that have signs and symptoms of anxiety, worry, or distress.
So what are these? Actually, a lot of HR psychology major graduate or psych graduate. So what are these? What are the things discussed? What are areas discussed in this training?
Come again. Please
What
repeat.
are the items or the modules discussed in that training for HR on mental health?
So basically, they can get. There are institutions who provide it. One, Algon Place provide it. We also have Philippine Mental Health Association, which I'm a member. So basically, on how to deal or to basically deal with the psycho-social, spiritual aspect of mental health. It's something that if somebody's undergoing a crisis, they know how to approach them. They know how to talk to them. As basic as understanding the safety of the client who's undergoing mental health problems, or let them know that you are there. These are the basic how to teach them on how to be calm, how to help people regain their control, stay with. It's something na they will have to give it to the employees that they have who are undergoing anxiety, worry, or mental.
Maybe sell usually this is actually coming now from the employee, from the one who has a problem.
Yes.
Maybe if an employee uh, manifest or tells the HR, Ma'am, I'm having some problem, and that is maybe the key that the HR must already address.
Yes, the mental health, if they have the skill for as a first aid, parang first aid yan, CPR, or so if they have that, they know where to, they know how to answer it, because some of the HR doesn't know
Can
how to answer
can
it. They're
can,
afraid.
mentoring coaching or maybe counseling be the intervention?
Yes, yes, it can be simple as listening. So, but we can be a listener, but do we really know or do we understand on how to be a listener? We can have empathy, but do we really know how to empathize? So, in this training, it teaches them on how to implement mental health first aid.
Oh, so there is a need for us HR to undergo such training. Okay,
Yes.
so let's again go back to a basic question. What is actually mental health in the workplace?
So basically, siguro I can go with the I can share to you the law. What is mental health in the workplace? Because we have a law. No, we cannot create our own mental health programs. So we have to follow the law. The basic rule on mental health promotion and policies on the workplace, uh, simply coming up with policies and programs. It's in the law. It's in section 26. As
What
simple
is the
as
law?
basic, yeah.
What is the law, Cell? For those who do not know, what is the law?
It's Republic Act 11036. So it's the Mental Health Act, the RA 11036.
Okay,
In the
okay.
MH 11036, there's what we call Section 26.
Yes, and what does
Section,
it say?
yeah, Section 26 states that mental health promotions and policies on the workplace.
So first, HR must have a policy, a corporate policy on mental health, and then
Yes,
of course they must have programs of mental health. I know
yes,
before during the time of uh, Dole Secretary Baldos, there were around 11 to 14 programs that was advised by Dole so
yeah,
that it can address the mental health problems in the company. It starts from it's so holistic. It's not even from that one of a what do you call this counseling. That one
yeah,
of gender. It is so holistic. So
yeah.
so it means that the HR must be able to come up with these policies and programs relative to mental
So
health.
I will add what else, they need to raise awareness on mental health issues, stigma, and discrimination associated with mental health condition, to provide support for treatment and psychosocial support, meaning they can get a third party. Because mental health is a little bit complicated. You need to be really trained about it. So if it's complicated on their part, nag-positive, somebody turned positive into drugs, or somebody happens to have mental distress or mental health problem, they can have a third party para hindi sila mahirapan. Kasi kung magte-training pa sila, it's a good thing. At least there's a first aid. But if they can get professionals, it would be easier for them
Of
to
course,
handle.
of course, because you are dealing with the persons. You can make and unmake a person if you are not a professional to deal with problems.
Yes.
And it's common. It's common. Say if if you're in an organization of around 200, binomial distribution, it is expected that one or two may have problems with marriage.
Yes,
Then
that's
one
true.
or two that there can be one or two there can be problems with separation from death and from loved ones. And
Yeah.
the simple problem on a loved one is working abroad can
Yeah.
cause some distress on the person. And then you
Yeah.
told us earlier that we have to be we have to be cautious. We have to be uh, aware of the symptoms. Okay, and so we go to that. Say you already know that somebody is not actually balanced anymore. So, what is the first thing that an HR should do aside from the the stopgap or the counseling that you will do? What is the next thing? To
So,
call a
yeah.
professional?
Yeah. So basically, you have already the assessment na this person needs specialist to help him. You have naman doctors in place. I think there are medical doctors in place in all companies. I'm near Technopark, and most of the most of the staff that I talk to are doctors. They refer their employees to us if something happened. So it's important that you refer it to the internal doctor, the doctor you have in your company. And then eventually, the doctor kasi will refer it to the professionals. And then
Cell,
from there,
excuse me, yung parati bang galit, a lot of my friends are listening, yung parati bang galit, yung mataray, yung parating hindi maganda makitungo, is that a symptom already that there is an imbalance in your mental health?
I can say somebody's experiencing serious distress if in case laging galit, nagte-threat to hurt others, shouting, tapos disoriented, random. Pag sinabi mo sa mga kabataang random, kung ano-ano na lang sinasabi, hindi na siya focus. Crying, being very anxious and fearful, probably there is, in the four aspect of mental health, pwedeng there's a family problem, there is miscommunication with coworkers. So you have to identify where is it coming from. Or baka naman talagang assertive siya. Kasi pag assertive ka, of course, right, may goal ka pa rin, may objective ka pa rin eh. Pero kapag wala, probably there's something that in his or her mental health that needs to be aligned.
Yung paano ito that a lot of people, especially Filipinos, last time si Miss Antoinette Leones spoke about it, that there was a time that she asked help from a psychologist. But in the Philippines, sometimes there's a stigma. There is what you call shaming. So we are ashamed if we tell people that we have a problem. So anong dapat gawin ng HR niya?
So, how can you, I'll repeat, if you have a good mental health and a healthy brain, always remember it increases productivity of your people.
Yeah.
But if you are afraid to confront or tell that these are my assessments, and you don't say naman na, oy, buang ka, oy, baliw ka, kailangan mo nito. No, I think you have to be also careful. And wag ka yung discrimination, you say that maybe there are something that I can recommend to you for you to help you feel better. And kung meron mga ma-issue sa a company, then we can have, because it's a law, di ba, mental health programs, so that you can be balanced. Hindi naman sabihin, oy, buang ka. Kasi if you do that, hindi mag-aano na yan eh. Lalong magagalit or lalong hindi sila hihingi ng tulong. But if your approach is helpful, hindi attacking, and your intention is to help, sino ba namang hindi lalapit sa'yo?
You know, FINMA, we asked Lynn Muki as a guest here. FINMA told us that there is an awareness for all their employees that they can avail of a help, a psychological help. Okay, we'll go back to this. We'll have our second announcements for the program. Don't leave, Czel, because I still have two questions for you.
Okay.
Okay, we'll have some announcements. It's nice that we have these breaks because those breaks giving you time to munch and eat your food. Anyway, let us continue. This is now the portion of what we call the job fair. FARE. So the question is, how are you faring as an HR with your mental health? Kaya pa ba? Or give up na? I have some students who are actually telling me, Sir, should I already resign? Then I tell them, you have to be thankful that you're still working, not at this time. That is not reality. So fair as in job fair. Is your job actually becomes makes you? Does it unmake you? Does it becomes you? Is this the time that as an HR, pigang-piga ka? You are to the fullest. You are functional to the fullest. And our topic relates to that. It goes to your mental health, how you appreciate what you're doing. Of course, it's tedious. I tell you, the time that it was face to face, I was just working 8 hours. But now, I am working more than 8 hours. Last night, I was texting somebody from Pima, and I told her, can I call you at 8? And she answered me, Sir, we just work up to 6. Then I said, sorry, it will not happen again. It was because I was thinking that we are working from home, we have the luxury of time. But people, they still have to follow. So, how do you fare with your work? Now, for the job fair, which is FAIR, again, I would like to thank our sponsor here, Wills Design and Associates. They still have vacancies. They are still looking for people to add to their manpower. They are a construction firm actually in Quezon City. Then I know there are a lot of other companies that are still in need of people. I will mention that later on in our next episodes. By the way, I'm so happy because our executive producers inform me that we will continue that. So there will be a second season for HR Hotline. So let's go back to Czel. Czel, can we have you back?
Yeah.
Okay. So this time we're a little bit serious earlier because we were talking
Yeah.
about health. Okay. And I know you're a bubbly person like me. So my question is, what should HR do now to ensure that there is good mental health? Before you answer that, can you tell us, Muna, how will you know that an organization has good mental health? Para ba nagkakanta, masaya ba? Ano ang mga signs na masaya? O kahit
Um,
muna sa pamilya. Sa pamilya. Paano malaman na ang pamilya may good mental health?
balansyado. Balance is important, very important. Crying and being sad is part of balance. Sadness is part of balance. Stress
So
is
pwede
part.
mag-away. Pwede mag-away. Pwede mag-away.
Not really naman. Pakikipag-away is different naman. Parang ano na yan, pangtondo na yan. So, no, I think a healthy discussion or a healthy argument is balance. Kasi kung puro naman kasiyahan, parang you're not also into reality. So, you live your life in, parang grounded ka. So, anything that comes up, grounded, or mindful ka. If there's a problem, then you talk about it together with, HR and the companies are like families nowadays because of the pandemic. So they have to treat each other like family. I'm not saying naman dapat mag-hug or magbigay ng mga gifts. It's just something like you have to empathize. You have to understand that
The key word is empathize. Yes.
yes, there a lot, not naman when you had a meeting, o kamusta na yung trabaho, you also have to ask them how is everyone, are there things that you need help, parang ganon, you can approach the HR, approachable, kasi pandemic is everybody's concern, not only company's concern.
So what
It's
are your advice? Ano ang mga advice mo? How can they ensure that there is good mental health in the organization?
Create programs and activities, create policies. Right now, focus on the pandemic. Focus on the pandemic programs and protocols. And create awareness. It's important to create awareness. Sa mga HR lang, priority is you have to be balanced also. Yung mga HR, you have to take care of yourself first because it's hard to take care of other people if you don't know yourselves and you're not taking care of yourselves. So yun yung isa sa importante. And then, yun nga, programs, awareness, providing training about the COVID. Kasi ito yung ngayon sa mental health, ito yung dapat nakafocus tayo ngayon. Have a regular meeting with them, discuss challenges and concern, and of course, find solution. Finding solution is like a family, finding ano ba yung dapat natin gawin sa company, ano ba yung dapat gawin ng employer, ng employees, what's their part, each part. Solution is very important nowadays because we need to survive.
Ang bilis ng oras. Last question before you give your parting message. Last question. How will you deal if you are about to retrench people? Ano ang approach ng HR na you know that you are going to part with this person and you're going to retrench? How are we going to deal with that thing?
In reality, honestly, that's very painful. When you talk about painful, that's a very negative energy. It's hurt. It's emotions. But as long that you deliver what's in the process and protocols and explain it in a way na merong nag-emphasize ka, in-explain mo the way na you have to deliver your job, as much as possible, there should be no problem. But the problem there would be your emotions. How will you handle it? Are you prepared? If you're not prepared, don't do it. Because you might, create something negative pagka nag-explain ka na. Be prepared. Ask somebody, ikaw, consultant ka, you can ask Sir Jesse, what will I do? You have to resource.
The point, sir, mag-overtime tayo ng konti. The point is, how are you going to break the news that somebody will now be losing a job?
Deliver the job. Deliver it. Schedule it. Deliver it. Schedule it. Face it. You don't have a choice kasi. However, just be sensitive on how you will deliver it. And make sure your mental health is okay kasi I know a lot
So, ang problema is not on the person, ikaw. The one is going, the messenger must have good mental, oo naman, I got you, Czel. Kasi, ang mahirap, kung yung nagsasalita, yun yung nag-break, yung nag-umiiyak tuloy, yung umaalis.
Crying is okay. Huwag ka lang hahagulgol. Kasi para namang pagkasabi ko, you're fired, you're retrenched because you have, if you need to cry as an HR, do it. If tutulong, wag ka lang hahagulgol na parang, no. You say, I empathize with you. You tell the truth that I cannot control my emotions. But I have to deliver my job. I have to do this. Something like that. Just be honest. Honesty is very important.
Ang laki ng marami pa tayong pag-uusapan yung the second season. We'll go back to that kasi we'll go to the specific now. Ito naman kasi yung mga tanong ko para namang libro What is the fundamental of the stages? Pero that's good so that people will know what are really the fundamentals of mental health. Kasi mental health is a common topic. Pero actually, a lot of us are still ignorant of what we're going to do as far as mental health is concerned. So again, Czel, can you give us your message, your parting message before we close?
So I'll go back to what you said na kapag nagtanggal ka ng tao, no? If you were able to deliver and you cannot handle it, get somebody that you can count on. Yung pwede mong pagsabihan. HR also, right now, the tedious job is in the HR. But you are dealing with lives. You are dealing with people. You have to equip yourselves. And when you deal with lives, you deal with emotions, and you deal with the brain. You can make or break a person. So you yourself should be equipped in times of this pandemic. And training is very important, and reaching out is very important. Just have balance mental health, physically, psychologically, socially, and the most important, share spiritual to your company. That's very important nowadays. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. That was my friend. If you like to capture the the contact details are being flashed by our executive producer. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's needed. So, what is the positivity from this pandemic? Is for us to know the real meaning of life, and then the real meaning of dealing with people, and the real meaning of us to be physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally healthy, so that it comes from us. It is nested in our being. Then we become it so that we can share it with our community, with our organization. And then actually, that is what we call the emotional contagion. The emotional contagion from positivity, you may not know it, you're actually influence others to have what we call balanced mental health. And that is needed. But on the other side, if you already suspect that there is somebody who's not anymore balanced, then we have to be transparent. As advised to us, you must be able to deal it. Then, if you cannot really do it, then you can ask third party help. So that is very important now that we are working remotely. That like me, for 3 months already, I'm here in the confines of my home. I'm so blessed that I have a garden, I have a family, and I have dogs. But what about those people who are alone? Just like my two nieces who are there in their condo. Of course, she's reading a lot. So it's now the duty of the HR to keep that balance. So that is our burden. First, look into ourselves that we have a balanced mental health. Then we learn that to have a balanced mental health, there are four aspects that we must make sure that we are balanced. And these are the dimensions. I know it of men. And make sure also that we have to ensure. So we cannot really hit it. We cannot shame somebody who has a problem. We come up with programs as advice, maybe a, a training program, maybe a, a team building program, or just a kamustahan to make sure that everybody feels that is being taken care of. The key word is empathy. The key word is pakikipagkapo. The key word is malasakit. And if you have that, you are now starting to make sure that you have good mental health with you and the organization. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jesse Francis Rebustillo. Use marvelous